happy and safe Christmas from Rubis.
No, it's holiday time. See the green, the red, and the white. Gonna keep you moving on, all the way back home. All the pretty lights everywhere. It's that time of year. Get Rubis, get going. It's Christmas. Get going. Get Rubis, get going. It's Christmas. Get going.
Have a happy and safe Christmas from Rubis.
No, it's holiday time. See the green, the red, and the white. Gonna keep you moving on, all the way back home. All the pretty lights everywhere. It's that time of year. Get Rubis, get going. It's Christmas. Get going. Get Rubis, get going. It's Christmas. Get going.
Have a happy and safe Christmas from Rubis.
No, it's holiday time. See the green, the red, and the white. Gonna keep you moving on, all the way back home. All the pretty lights everywhere. It's that time of year. Get Rubis, get going. It's Christmas. Get going. Get Rubis, get going. It's Christmas. Get going.
Have a happy and safe Christmas from Rubis.
No, it's holiday time. See the green, the red, and the white. Gonna keep you moving on, all the way back home. All the pretty lights everywhere. It's that time of year. Get Rubis, get going. It's Christmas. Get going. Get Rubis, get going. It's Christmas. Get going.
Have a happy and safe Christmas from Rubis.
No, it's holiday time. See the green, the red, and the white. Gonna keep you moving on, all the way back home. All the pretty lights everywhere. It's that time of year. Get Rubis, get going. It's Christmas. Get going. Get Rubis, get going. It's Christmas. Get going.
Have a happy and safe Christmas from Rubis.
No, it's holiday time. See the green, the red, and the white. Gonna keep you moving on, all the way back home. All the pretty lights everywhere. It's that time of year. Get Rubis, get going. It's Christmas. Get going. Get Rubis, get going. It's Christmas. Get going.
Have a happy and safe Christmas from Rubis.
No, it's holiday time. See the green, the red, and the white. Gonna keep you moving on, all the way back home. All the pretty lights everywhere. It's that time of year. Get Rubis, get going. It's Christmas. Get going. Get Rubis, get going. It's Christmas. Get going.
Have a happy and safe Christmas from Rubis.
No, it's holiday time. See the green, the red, and the white. Gonna keep you moving on, all the way back home. All the pretty lights everywhere. It's that time of year. Get Rubis, get going. It's Christmas. Get going. Get Rubis, get going. It's Christmas. Get going.
Have a happy and safe Christmas from Rubis.
No, it's holiday time. See the green, the red, and the white. Gonna keep you moving on, all the way back home. All the pretty lights everywhere. It's that time of year. Get Rubis, get going. It's Christmas. Get going. Get Rubis, get going. It's Christmas. Get going.
Have a happy and safe Christmas from Rubis.
No, it's holiday time. See the green, the red, and the white. Gonna keep keep you moving on, all the way back home. All the pretty lights everywhere. It's that time of year. Get Rubis, get going. It's Christmas. Get going. Get Rubis, get going. It's Christmas. Get going.
Have a happy and safe Christmas from Rubis.
No, it's holiday time. See the green, the red, and the white. Gonna keep you moving on, all the way back home. All the pretty lights everywhere. It's that time of year. Get Rubis, get going. It's Christmas. Get going. Get Rubis, get going. It's Christmas. Get going.
Have a happy and safe Christmas from Rubis.
No, it's holiday time. See the green, the red, and the white. Gonna keep you moving on, all the way back home. All the pretty lights everywhere. It's that time of year. Get Rubis, get going. It's Christmas. Get going. Get Rubis, get going. It's Christmas. Get going.
Have a happy and safe Christmas from Rubis.
No, it's holiday time. See the green, the red, and the white. Gonna keep you moving on, all the way back home. All the pretty lights everywhere. It's that time of year. Get Rubis, get going. It's Christmas. Get going. Get Rubis, get going. It's Christmas. Get going.
Have a happy and safe Christmas from Rubis.
No, it's holiday time. See the green, the red, and the white. Gonna keep you moving on, all the way back home. All the pretty lights everywhere. It's that time of year. Get Rubis, get going. It's Christmas. Get going. Get Rubis, get going. It's Christmas. Get going.
Have a happy and safe Christmas from Rubis.
No, it's holiday time. See the green, the red, and the white. Gonna keep you moving on, all the way back home. All the pretty lights everywhere. It's that time of year. Get Rubis, get going. It's Christmas.
It's a Sound of Classic in the afternoon, Classic 105.5, 105.9 on the FM band. You want to say thanks to Donald and the rest of the team on the inside. Well, good afternoon to you wherever you are. It's actually 3 p.m. here in Grenada and other parts of the Eastern Caribbean. And welcome to this, another live broadcast that's put on by Rubis. This evening we have the luxury of being on the south of the island, and we have the Rubis CTEC Service Center for another live broadcast. We're here for 2 hours. For the first hour we are going to be live, and then the team is going to remain here up until 5 o'clock. And that's right about now. I'm Joseph Kodor. We say thanks for you being part of this exercise wherever you are. Those of you here at home, across the region, and in the diaspora. Of course, we want to say compliments of the season to you. So wishing you all the best, you and yours, for the rest of the holidays. So let's put this into perspective as to why are we here and what's the anticipation for the next hour. It is basically simple. Now, for every $50 you spend, it means you are entitled to a gift. And I'm proud to tell you that it's a gift that has your name on it. So for every $50 you spend, you get a chance to earn yourself a gift. Your gift literally has your name on it. And certainly from there onwards, based on the amount that you spend, there are different types of gifts. So loads of, quite a wide variety of gifts that is available. I must say to you, they have sunshades, key holders, umbrellas, other branded, a lot of Rubis branded material, as well as bags and everything as key holders. And so you, certainly wherever you are, the place to be this afternoon is all happening right now for the next 2 hours. It's all happening at the Rubis CTEC Service Center down here on the south of the island. And it's certainly the place that you want to be. Maybe you may probably need to divert if you don't have any immediate reasons as to why you need to be on the south of the island, it certainly wouldn't hurt. Maybe you just need to top up a bit. Maybe you need to get yourself a 20-pound cylinder of gas, because even that too, while I did intimate to you that with every $50 you spend, you get, of course, the chance to win, whether, of course, it's be fuel, lubricants, or the 20-pound cylinder of gas. Mr. Archer, as we've been saying, and we continue to say, with Rubis, you win just because it is another day and because it is Rubis doing everything that you can just to make sure you keep a smile on the faces of your customers.
Good afternoon to all the listeners of GBN. Whether you are listening locally or you are overseas, we are once again doing the promotion today we are at the CTEC service station. And if you're not in Grenada and you're not able to get down to CTEC to get your gift, you can certainly make a call, send a WhatsApp, send a Facebook to your friends here in Grenada, and let them know that you're hearing this live. We are at the service station, and send them to get what unfortunately you're too far to receive, but they will receive on your part. We are happy to be here today. It's our final side promotion item, and we want everybody that has not yet participated with us for the year. We've done quite a bit, and we wanted to make sure that you have one last opportunity to be proud of the Rubis name. What we will also be doing this afternoon, once they show up, we'll be making some charitable donations as well. And we are expecting those persons between 3 and 4, although we are going to be here till 5. But we wanted to give them the opportunity to be on air as well, so that they can push their charity. Because we know the situation, the conditions as they are now, and how badly these charitable donations are needed. So, Mr. Kado, happy to have you here to bring the good word.
It's indeed.
If I say good news, it might sound like something else, but I guess it is good word, good news.
It is
to all the listeners. Let them know that
news. It doesn't matter
Rubis is the word.
I think by now they've got to realize that Rubis, once you say Rubis, there's a smile, there's a sense of satisfaction that they get. One, from the product, two, from the experience, because there is a product that they have purchased, and then there's the experience that they're able to be a part of when they come to one of these Rubis outlets. And of course, you pride yourself as having outlets across the Tri-Island state. So good afternoon again to you wherever you are. It's always a pleasure being here with you. We hope that you will want to come and spay the last hour with us down here at the service center. It's the CTEC service center down here at, yes, Rubis, the Seabird at the top of the Maurice Bishop Highway. It is the eve, Olia's Eve as they call it. What's your plans, Mr. Archer, outside of Rubis?
Stay home with my family and spend some good, safe, quality time with them. It's as simple as that.
It's as simple as it is. There's no need to risk it or do anything otherwise, Grenada. I know very often, Mr. Archer, persons, they tend to buy into the unnecessary temptation of, wanting to defy law enforcement, or maybe just for the thrill of it. Listen, folks, this is COVID. This is a COVID period. There's strict protocol. There is only today again we heard that there was an announcement of additional 3 cases. So certainly, while we encourage you to manage what you do, reminding you that there is the protocol that is in place, a strict protocol that is in place. Practice the social distancing, practice the hygiene, because the reality of it, Mr. Archer, we've said it, looking at what's happening, not just here at home, but looking what's happening in a bigger country. Most individuals thought that once you got the announcement of a vaccine, Europe now have two vaccines. England, that is, they have 2 vaccines that they have actually approved, and you're getting other approvals of vaccines across the world. But now you're realizing There are some variables and the things we have no control of, and it certainly puts a spin on things in terms of what happens going forward.
That's for the scientists. And I doubt that whatever lifespan I have, I will have enough time to become a scientist and think for myself what I want to do and what I choose to do. So
Right.
I will listen to the scientists that are telling us presently what to do. I will listen to them and ensure that I do what they advise that is done by us in the meantime. Because we're hearing about different strains of the virus now, and every day you wake up, there's a different twist.
Right.
So instead of trying to take on that stress and that worry, you just stay safe all the time based on what they say and let other people handle it.
Well, what you realize an important point to me, how important is it though that individuals be able to manage their intake of information, whether or not it be from social media, and even some of the information you get from the reliable sources, which might be factual. Sometimes it as you said, it can be a bit overbearing, and it could literally rub you the wrong way.
Well, it depends on how you choose to listen, what you choose to listen to, and what you choose to do with the information that you get. It is a lot. And if every time you listen, you swallow and then regurgitate, it doesn't quite work as well as a system where you swallow and you
Assimilate.
digest and let it go wrong, and then by the time you have comments, you're probably more in a position, better educated with the remarks that you make. So I leave that to other people and do the very simple part, which is live safe, follow the words that they promise, that if you do X, Y, Z, then the result is expected to be whatever it is.
But the one bit of information we can safely still say to you that you should not be afraid to literally broadcast is the fact that we're down here at the Rubis CTEC Service Center,
Right.
and certainly for every $50 that you spend this afternoon, there is a gift that I've been saying proudly that has your name on it. And if by chance you come and the gift you receive doesn't have your name on it, it isn't because you've been duped into this. It probably means what you have to do is make an additional purchase, so that the gift that you desire specifically would probably come into fruition one way or the other. But the team, we're here this afternoon, and we'll be live up until 4 in the afternoon. But the Rubis team,
You get an ice.
the Rubis team is going
Okay,
to be
you're
here
welcome.
up until 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And certainly you have an occasion. You spend $50 or more, you're in with an opportunity to win with Rubis. And I think by now, Mr. Archer, the realization, if by chance there was any speculation, there were the naysayers, I think by now persons should have gotten to realize that we say what we mean what we say. There is a gift, there's an opportunity for everyone to win.
And also, listeners, we take photos of the process that we have. And we post them on Facebook. They're on social media. So if you have any doubt, you will actually see friends, relatives, other persons that have already come before you. You will see that they have received at other events the tokens, the gifts that we offer. And it's for real. There's no gimmick here. Rubis does not deal with gimmicks. Nowhere in our name does it translate. I know it's supposed to be that we are a French company, and you probably could find French words in our name. Rubis is supposed to mean gem and ruby, precious things. Those are the words I know. I don't know anything about
Nothing beyond
gimmick
that.
and false are not true.
Right.
Okay?
But certainly, again, as you said, it is happening all down here. There's an opportunity for you to come, spend. Of course, once you spend $50 and more in Ultratech fuel, you make you purchase in the lubricants, total lubricants, or you make a purchase of the Rubis, the $50, the $40, the $20 cylinders of gas, you're in with an opportunity to win quite a wide variety of different gifts, a real assortment. And every week you come, you realize that Rubis literally, they keep upping the game, because you can never seriously honestly guess what is it that you are going to receive from the team, because there's always, every week they keep adding to the portfolio of offerings that they have. But certainly we've been doing this for the last couple of weeks, and certainly, as we can say to you, it's as legit as it gets. The fact that you hear Anything Classic, you know it is legit. In case you're wondering, you can also follow this exercise live. Yes, it's happening with a stream via our YouTube channel as well. Well, that's GBN's YouTube channel. So you could go on and realize, okay, this thing is actually happening right here, right now, and you need to come down there. I mean, this is the eve of the old years, and certainly you want to make sure that you plan for the weekend, and in whatever capacity, notwithstanding the fact that there's the curfew that has been imposed, but you got to do what you have to do.
I indicated at the start of the program that we'll be doing some charitable donations. We have one person here now from the Bel Air home for adolescents and children to receive. So I'm going to go do that handover with the photographer, and I'll be right back to the
You'll be right back with her to me, though. Don't try to, you would. So Mr. Archer's going to do his due. Of certainly, while he does what he does, I'm going to keep you up to date so you can appreciate what is happening. It's a representative that is here from the Bel Air home. And I'm not sure if you remember, let me just take your memory back. The previous promotion that we have that ended sometime in late December, it was, where you had 5 persons who were actually, they were winners of that promotion, and that they were a couple 11 weeks or so they had that promotion, the Win with Rubis promotion. As part of that campaign, each of those winners, they got the opportunity to select a charitable organization of their choice, to which, of course, Rubis would contribute $500. But of course, it's not just the $500. I mean, if you remember yesterday, so we see now Rubis. Yes, the Rubis is the Bel Air home for children and adolescents. They're receiving a check for $500. But yesterday we were up at the service center in Grove, and the Rubis, they also made contributions to Grand Quarter yesterday in the amount of $6,800. They made contributions yesterday as well to the Top Hill. I want to make sure, Mike, is it a Top Hill or is it a Hillview Home for the Age? In case I'm getting it wrong, if it's not the home at Grove, if it's not the Top Hill, it's the Hillview Home for the Age. I'm trying to get the correct name for you, but it's at home in St. John. They also made a contribution yesterday to the home. So certainly, it's a Yuletide season, and it's a time when, of course, it is expected, but for Rubis, there isn't a season for giving. It is what they do. It's not just part of what you hear companies refer to as a corporate social responsibility, but it's part of what they do. Is the mantra by which they live, right? So certainly, it's always a pleasure for them. I know the Rubis team. It's always a pleasure for the Rubis team when they are able to give back. I'm just speaking here with the recipient, the representative from the Bel Air home, and at one glance, you could always know when they're shy. They give you that little, oh, not me look, and said, oh my Lord, why did he call me? But I think by now they know I love having conversations with the shy ones, because I'm very shy myself. So you have no need to worry. I'll just give me your thoughts, having received on having been able to receive the check there from the Rubis, from Rubis. Your thoughts, and let's just get people an appreciation as to First of all, before we get into that, the Bel Air home, what do you do so that persons can appreciate the value of the contribution from Rubis?
Okay, so good afternoon and happy holidays.
Thank you.
Bel Air Home for Children. So I'm Lisa Charles, manager of the home. Bel Air Home for Children is a home that provides respite for children coming from backgrounds of neglect, abandonment, and abuse. Right? So we basically provide the care, help with their development, do a bit of what do you call that? Just teaching them skills that they need for reintegration and stuff like that. So we provide that. In terms of donation from Rubis, they have been friends of ours for years. It's not the first time that they donated to the home. Mr. Archer is no stranger to Bel Air Home. We just kind of overwhelmed this year that persons, all of us were affected by the pandemic and everything else. 2020, as we would say, was no ordinary year. And we don't know what is in store for 21, but we know that we had a difficult period, and we're grateful that persons still find it in their heart to come forward and give. Yeah? They didn't say, well, okay, COVID came and we can't give you. They still found it in their heart to give, and we appreciate that a lot. Right? So Rubis is friends of ours, as we say, and this year, as any other year, we're grateful for the donation because it would definitely help us to provide better quality care for the children.
What are friends for in the good times and in the bad times?
That's friends.
They're
yes.
on your side forevermore.
I guess with 2020, I've seen who the true friends are. But that's not saying that if the person can't give as much or they didn't give this year,
Right.
that they're not friends. But you see who sticks with you right through. And, you know, Rubis has proven that.
When you started your discourse, you did mention before we wrap that you deal with children that come from different backgrounds and have different challenges. And for the home as it is, just give us a sense as to the age group that you cater for and what the program is like on a daily basis in terms of what you go through with the kids.
Okay, so we cater for children 0 to 8 for boys, 0 to 18 for girls. Don't feel that we discriminating against the boys. It's just that we don't have separate facilities in terms of privacy and everything else for boys when they get a little older. If they're not reunited with their parents or get fostered or adopted, then they go on to the boys' home, Father Malcolm Home for Boys. So they have somewhere, right? The children in our care, as I said, with the backgrounds that they came from. So basically, if somebody identifies a child in the community that is being abused, neglected, being left alone, whatever the case may be, once the child is at risk, they can report that to the social services or child protection authority. Now they would send out their social worker to determine whether the child needs to be removed if they're really at risk. And that is how children were placed in our care, either by Bel Air or Queen Elizabeth, wherever it might be. But that's how children come into care at Bel Air. And we now provide that daily care, like the parent away from the parent.
Right.
Right? So on a daily basis, or routine is more or less the same like in your home. They wake up in the morning, they do their devotion, they have chores to do, because as you say, we teach them life skills. So they do have to wash dishes and help to clean and do
Great.
whatever normal children should do. So we do that, they go to regular school and come back.
Right, okay.
So we don't really homeschool it unless, like this year we had to do. So they go out to school, they come back. When they come back, they would have a little break, a little snack, whatever. Then they go right into their remedial sessions, do their homework. If they don't have homework, they have other work that they do, other academics. Then in the afternoon time, they have free play, they get ready for supper.
Okay.
Use bedtime.
So you just
That's a day in the life.
you
of
are the
children.
guardians, basically.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you before you go that as you mentioned it, the part of the education, the education, and the fact that the COVID-19 has changed the landscape. What sort of challenges has that presented to you, given that now you have to adopt the homeschooling methodology?
Right. So what that did for us is that we had a little challenge in the beginning because we did not have enough equipment, like in terms of the computers and stuff, for everybody to be online at once. We had a few laptops and a few desktop computers. Well, one set had crashed, so somebody came forward and we got another one. But that was one of the challenges, having everybody, because in your home you have one child and you provide for that one child. But we had 18 school-age children to go online at once. So it was challenging. And the challenge with that too is having the persons to guide them along, to tutor them then.
With the records and skill sets.
Right. So that was some of the challenges that we faced. But we have a retired teacher who we brought into work. Our deputy is a trained teacher as well, so she did that.
Right.
So we kind of overcame the challenges. And with time, we kind of got into a routine. So now it's a lot easier.
Any appeal you want to make to the government, the general public, society in a whole, in terms of buying into your vision and supporting what you do?
Well, I mean, as anybody would appreciate, what we do is much needed in our community. Because even myself, I couldn't appreciate it before I started working there 17 years ago. I did not know that we had such a need or that kind of a problem in society, at that magnitude for an island as small as ours. So persons would appreciate what they can do is be a brother's keeper. Sometimes I don't think for me, working in that system, the only thing I don't understand is that you may have relatives, you may have friends. Before, as they say, a whole community should raise a child.
Right.
But now you have persons not interfering in this person's business and not going to tell them anything. But we need to do a lot more of that, be a brother's keeper, because some of these things, some of the situations can be avoided. Sometimes it's just a social issue, a little assistance that they need. Be a brother's keeper and we'll get to alleviate some of these problems.
Well, thank you. Wishing you, really hats off to you and the team down at the Bel Air home. And really hope for God's continued strength and guidance on yourself as the team leader, as it is, and the rest of the staff.
Thank you very much, and
all
the
the
same
best
to you, your family, and your colleagues. Yeah?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
There you have it. There you have it. Another happy face, and the happy faces, Mr. Archer. They come from all walks, all strata of life. Yesterday we saw smiling secondary school students, smiling faces. That's at the time CC. Another smiling face that represents another charitable organization.
And I did say to you yesterday that before we started at the Goa station, we had actually gone up to the Hillview home for the aged and made a contribution, a donation to that home as well, And that again was a different strata, a different aspect of life in Grenada, and obviously, I did indicate that the contributions we are giving out are part of the promotion, the You Deserve It promotion that we held during September, October, November. And the winners were able to select the persons, the homes, the charities that they wanted to contribute to.
Right.
And it would look, as we had given thought, into the different recipients. But I guess it is such that there's so much need now because of COVID that whoever you reach out to, they are in need, and they can do it with the help. And we are quite happy at Rubis to be able to give. We're not giving back as they tend to say, we're giving.
Right.
With the expectations that the people that are receiving will be able to improve their lifestyles. The homes that are getting this help will be able to help the persons that they see about.
Mr. Archer, do you get a sense, though? But while you're at the door, let me just say good afternoon to those of you that's probably just joining us. Classic 105.5, 105.9 on the FM band. We're coming to you live from the Rubis CTEC Service Center at Grand Anse. And certainly we've been here since 3. This is what's happening basically. For every $50 you spend upward and upwards, there's a gift with your name on it. Plain and simple. Whether it's fuel, lubricants, or even if you purchase the 20-pound cylinder of gas, there is a gift with your name on it. Coming in and make sure you be part of this evening's exercise. We're just speaking there with a representative from the Bel Air home. And thereafter, Mr. Charles was just putting into context. Well, I was just about to ask you, Mr. Charles, Mr. Archer, do you get the sense, though, that individuals, and when I say I'm not looking at anybody specifically, that really appreciate the reality of what's happening on the ground? Yes, you hear at the political level X, Y, and Z, and that's a different story. But sometimes when you really hit the ground running, you realize that there's a lot of individuals that live a less than comfortable life when you compare to the way that you and I are living, and being able to support their family in a way that they want to, even prior to COVID. And now what all COVID has done is just exacerbated it.
That is very much so. But one of the things that I keep saying that we have to do is we have to take responsibility for our own actions. Sometimes we say that we are in need, but when you actually and truly drill down on what we're saying we need, we do not always necessarily prioritize on those needs. There are things that we say we need that at the time like this, if you assess the situation, you are actually in a better position to forego some of these things and put to the top of your list what you really need to prioritize. It is important to eat to survive, but other people might find other things as a priority at this time. That has nothing to do with eating. It probably has more to do with luxury and things that you may do that are not necessary at this time. It might be more important to try to make arrangements for your child that's of school age to get whatever apparatus it is needed to help them do what's needed to do their schoolwork at home. You know, yesterday when we spoke with Gren Coda, we got an appreciation and an understanding for some of the things that are needed.
Yes.
Because life will continue, and the children will need to do the exams, because no matter what happens, when time comes and they go to look for a job, they have to present those certificates, those requirements. They will not change.
Right.
So we have to prioritize to make sure that we meet certain things that we may not see them as needs. But if you actually drill down, you will see that there are requirements.
In fact, what you may probably realize is that going forward, that businesses would probably most likely be requiring more. And we've seen the transitions throughout life. Years ago, you probably left school, let's say maybe at the secondary school level, you had a few CXCs, maybe 7, 8 subjects, and that was 40 years ago. You've recognized now that the demand is much greater. But just to expand on something that you shared in terms of prioritizing, because the reality of it is that while yes, there are organizations out there that are assisting, and of course while we're seeing one of the Rubis delivery trucks making their way further down the south of the island, doing what they have to do. While yes, there are organizations such as yourself, Mr. Archer, that's going to do what it has to do. Each of us as individuals, we have a responsibility to ourselves and to our families. And in a way we can be practical. I was saying to somebody just the other day that, so for example, the whole conversation of the utilities that we enjoy. And we tell ourselves, well, you know, I must have this one or that one. But me, from personal experience, I remember a step as far back as Ivan. When Ivan came and it went, I then got to realize, Mr. Archer, but hold on. But there was this particular item or utility that I thought I couldn't do without. And Ivan has been how many years now? And I can safely tell you that I haven't had cable since then. But the world has since transitioned itself. And I would have made that decision. But there are other people that may decide, you know what? Maybe that's not what I may probably need to not have. But there's something else that is of greater importance. And you may have to ultimately make that decision.
And what are the repercussions of the decisions you choose to make or not make? Because every day we are being told about the social distancing when you're among persons, what the repercussions are if you do or don't do the things that are we being told to do. We still want to assemble. We're not saying no, don't assemble, but it's how you do it. You know, who's around you? Are they wearing their mask? Are they social distancing? You know, so it is not that the word is no, don't do this, but it is no, you need to consider what you want to do, what the repercussions will be if you do, and what the outcome will be. And safety, you know, at Rubis, we are in an industry where safety is not our number one item. Our customers are our priority, but we do it with them in mind for the safety things that we need to do. So as well, with COVID around, there are safety things that you need to do. So nobody's telling you don't do it, but what will happen if you don't? What will happen if you do? And then you do the balance and you see where it is that you need to be in prioritizing what could be a differential in your life.
What could be a differential in your life? You prioritize. That's the word they're coming from Mr. Archer from Rubis. And certainly you would appreciate that at some point in time in our lives, we have to make that decision to spend and not to spend, to go or not to go, to buy or not to buy, to keep or not to keep. What do I do? If I have to make a decision between my child's education and my entertainment needs, where do I draw the line? Yes, a little entertainment every now and again. It is important, but it shouldn't be that your entertainment budget far exceeds that of your food bill. And they may have to realize, listen, I may probably have to drink 2 beers less for the weekend. I may probably have to sip, instead of having 2 glasses of Johnny Walker, I may probably need to have one, instead of maybe going to some outlet.
Top shelf.
That one is just for you.
but we're not cutting you though. You know, you mentioned about cable a while ago. But I'll ask us, that might be a tough decision based on some people's household.
Right.
But when is the last time, and I'm talking to the listeners now, when is the last time have you been to the movie house? Have you been to the cinema? You know, at one time, those places used to be filled.
Yes.
All the time. Now, I understand they found other ways. They're streaming movies. They're being creative in other ways to still get the opportunity to do those things. So it's not that you have to go to the movies to enjoy life and get the entertainment that you need, but there are alternatives in life that we need to pursue those in order to ensure that we remain safe in what we do, our families remain safe, and that 2021, 2022, whatever year it is, when things will have balanced out a bit and life will become whatever the new normal is. Because I think some people are struggling with not understanding that there is and there will continue to be movement towards a new normal. You know, until we find that balance, we keep on encouraging you to be as safe as possible. And in the meantime, you get your Rubis products. Remember, you'll get your cooking gas to boil the ham and the turkey and whatever else you have in for the new year. We have the lubricants for the engines. You know, so whatever you choose to do, Rubis is there for you, and we will always encourage you. Waiting on you. We will always encourage you to be safe and do so with Rubis in heart and in mind at all times.
Indeed, as much as you do, remember safety is one of the optimal words. Striking a balance is another of those optimal words. Where do you strike a balance? What do I do? What do I not do? And it's important that as individuals, it is important that as family members, it's important as citizens that we play our part in, first and foremost, staying safe. Folks, COVID-19, it is real. Yes, there's the conversation. There are the skeptics. Listen, there are people who complain that climate change isn't real. And that may or may not be. But I'm sure there's every one of you, when you look around, you start realizing, boy, the weather isn't what it used to be when I was a little boy 30 years ago. The skeptics is going to continue to be skeptics. You would realize that when you were growing up, maybe there was a little pool, a little pond in the back of your house. But all of a sudden, you've grown up now, and that isn't there. You have to agree that when you were growing up, there was rain 6 months in the year. But you look now, you've seen the changes. So in the midst of the skepticism, in the midst of the naysayers, you have to strike a balance and realize, listen, there's some things as it happens, you need to play your part. It may or may not be, as you said, there are the experts, there are the scientists, they are available. They're going to play their part. What do I do in the interim? Do I be disheartened? Do I be discouraged? Or do I find a balance where I do that which is right, keep my family safe, and play, of course, our part in ensuring that, of course, we transition our way out of this current pandemic into the new year, and we of course see where do we go from here. But in case you're just joining us, good afternoon to you, to the listeners of Classic 105.5. I can tell you while I'm here, my boy Mike, he's actually now gnawing on some cashew nuts and a packet of supplement. Yeah, I mean, when you work hard, you work like a big man, you have to then snack as a big man. He ain't drinking no chubby, a supplement and some cashew nuts. That's the way that we roll. But again, we want to say thanks for being part of the broadcast. We were here, and earlier on, in case you missed it, we saw there was a check presentation to the Bel Air home. We are getting ready for make another presentation, but certainly this is part of Rubis, part of what they do, part of their commitment to, of course, their social agenda. And it's not just a commitment, something that they say in words, but it's a commitment that is made visible. Yesterday, outside of what's happening today, we saw that presentations were made to the home in St. John. They also made a presentation to the Grand Quarter and in support of the SAT program. And certainly I was privileged to speak with at least 3 of the participants from that program. Two young men and young women that were able to say, you know what, thank you, Grand Quarter. You've impacted my life positively. And I think that it is important, ultimately, and at the end of the day, that corporate entities appreciate, yes, that at the end of the day, you have a responsibility to your stakeholders, yes, that you maximize on the bottom line. But certainly you also have to realize that your social responsibility goes just beyond saying that we have to do this. But when you're impacting, you're recognizing that you're impacting on the lives of the nation's children. And certainly that's the way that you have to go. But keeping your eyes on the clock, I just want to make sure that we know where you are. For those of you that have a plan, you have somewhere to go. It's 19 minutes on to the hour of 4 o'clock. We'll be coming to you live from the CTEC, the Rubis CTEC Service Center at Grand Anse. What we're looking at now is a check presentation that has been made. The second one today is being made to the School for the Deaf. And of course, it's been received on behalf of the school by Mrs. Roberts. And certainly it's always good to know, and in just a bit, I'll just be chit-chatting with her, so we can get an appreciation. We can get an appreciation of the school of the deaf, what they do, because very, very often, there's these organizations that they seem almost visible, but ever so often it is happy to know what they do. Sometimes you meet people and they run from you. You don't see them in quite a while, but life has a way. When they say that because of COVID they didn't pass by you and all of that, life just has a way that it brings us a little bit closer together. 6 feet apart, though. Yeah, that's the new mantra. Hi, Les.
Hi, Joe.
What's popping?
Nothing much.
Nothing much?
Nothing much.
I find your face look as though it's having a little difficulty fitting into...
My small mask?
Oh, the mask is small.
Yeah, it's really small.
Yeah, I know there was something different, but I couldn't quite put it together.
It's just the mask. It's a little bit smaller than it's supposed to be.
It's smaller than it's supposed to be. We'll have to order the right size for you.
Yes, please.
Of course, I can see the smile on your face. Accepting the check presentation on behalf of the School for the Deaf. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the organization, the school. What do you do and give, Grenadians an appreciation as to what happens up there?
Well, at the School for the Deaf, most people think we house students at the school, but we do not have any students at the school. The School for the Deaf, our drive is inclusive education. And so our students are in the mainstream school, or the regular schools, as everybody would say. Mm-hmm. Right? So we have children in primary, secondary, and tertiary level schools. And our teachers go out to work with the students wherever they are. We have students that are profoundly deaf that would need sign language to communicate, as well as we have students hard of hearing, as we would say, and just other students that would need extra support.
How much of a challenge is that, though? I mean, me, I have all my faculties, and sometimes in school, I just need to figure out what the teachers to say. Yeah? How much of a challenge
It's
is it?
not much of a challenge. We at the School for the Deaf, we love what we do. So when you love what you do, it's not that much of a challenge. It's easier that way.
Do you get the sense, I know they've always been an appeal by your association for greater appreciation by society, because there's these stigmas that are attached to it, and persons that for whatever reason, they may not have all of the faculties, whether or not the audible faculty, the speech faculty, or whatever the case is. That stigma, is that being eroded? And if so, how important is it that the general public, society, greater society, get on board and realize that these children are no different from any other?
Well, if I'm honest, the stigma is still there. Over the years, we have been working and trying our best to see how well we can erode that stigma, but it's still there. We just want to encourage the public. One of the words that we hear from time to time is dummy. And we want to say it's not dummy, it's deaf. Deaf, not dummy. And the deaf people can do same things like you and I can do. The only difference is that they don't have that hearing like you and I. So they can accomplish and achieve as much as we can. We just want to ensure that they're not treated differently because of that loss of hearing.
And I think very often that is the drawback, because of how they may have been treated from growing up. Then they grew up with that sense of maybe I don't fit in, I actually feel less. Final question before you go, Les. COVID-19, it has changed the landscape forever. We understand that the new school term there's going to be some hiccups to it. But we're forced now to change the modus operandi as to how we impart information onto children online. And certainly, for the School for the Deaf, you have to transition your way. How has that been?
Well, I wouldn't say it has been very hard. It has been, for the deaf, they're very visual. Yes, and so online with Zoom and with Google Classrooms and so, it has worked out pretty well. It hasn't been too hard per se. In order to get in contact with our students, we do WhatsApp videos. You call on WhatsApp and you communicate with your students. You do your lessons or so online. So it hasn't been too terrible, being that our students are more visual. Yeah, so it has been okay.
I'm seeing your face mask. It says spice signs on one side. And then there is...
The sign on the other side is...
What?
That's how you say I love you in sign language.
Really?
Really?
And I've never said that to you?
You've never said that to me.
Oh my God, I feel bad.
Not in sign language.
Well, I have the need to practice sign language. Anyway, Lady Roberts, wishing you all the best, yourself and the rest of the team up there at the School for the Deaf.
Thank you so
and
much.
I hope that, of course, as time progresses, that greater society will get a better appreciation as to what you do and buy into your cause and buy into your vision.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
All the best for the New Year's.
Thank you. You too.
Another smiling face, another smiling organization. I was just speaking to one of the teachers, facilitators up there, Mrs. Roberts. And certainly, as you hear, one of the challenges, how do I deal with the stigma that's attached to what's happening? Noticing now that there is a presentation that's being made to the Salvation Army. And certainly in just a bit, we're going to be having a little chit-chat with the recipient, the representative of the Army, and that's going to give us a little bit of an insight as to what happens at the Army, what's the role that they play. Sometimes a lot of people really and truly don't really understand. You hear of these organizations, but you don't really quite appreciate what they do. Yes, the Salvation Army, we hear of them, but we don't quite appreciate what you do. And very often, because of lack of knowledge, we may scoff, we may probably look at them otherwise in terms of what they do. My dear sir, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm great, and you?
I'm wonderful as always. For the purpose of the conversation, you mind just telling the general public your name, please?
My name is Major Anthony Sanchez, and I'm the commanding officer for the Salvation Army here in Grenada.
Well, I know Mike is a military guy. I don't know, I'm not sure how come Mr. Archer, somebody said to me he had a military background. I'm not really quite sure in which stage of his life. But the Salvation Army, you hear it, and sometimes people, they try to wrap their minds around who you are, what you do. Let's remove that veil that is there and shed some light for us.
All right, well, first of all, we must understand that the Salvation Army is a church, which there are many people don't believe that we are a church, but we are. And I guess one of the reasons why people believe that we are not a church because we do social work, right? We found that we always believe in the physical part of someone and also the spiritual part, and that's how the Christianity come in.
Now, the physical part is that we believe in three S's, and I'm going to break that down for you. The first S, we believe that we cannot preach to somebody if they are hungry. So then we give them soup for them to put in their stomach. The second S, we believe that we cannot preach to somebody if they have a hygiene, because both of us have a high hygiene. Then, of course, we're going to affect our nose. And from there, then we preach salvation to you. We preach Christ. And that's how the three S's come in: soup, soap, and salvation.
Soup, soap, and salvation. Quite
Yeah.
interesting. It says that this is a learning exercise for us. Let's get into some of the practicality, because I only found out a couple of years ago, because of my own involvement, that you don't, you're not just person, you do contribute. A lot of people may not know that. They know the schools, there's a lot of feeding programs in a lot of schools. But you were directly involved in that program as well, aren't you?
Yeah, well, right now we have a school in food feeding program. We provide food for the children at Anse, the Anglican Junior and Senior School. We provide food for them, as I said, Monday to Friday, and that is a help from the government as well, of course, but we are the one who manage the operation.
Looking ahead, I mean, in any organization, any religious organization, whatever it is, there's always room for improvement. There's always room to expand the portfolio of your offering. And I'm certain at the Army that's no different.
Yeah. Well, there's always room for expand, as you always says, and there's always room for us to increase upon what we are doing. And also apart from that, I must say that we help the public as much as possible. Because sometimes person who come to my office seeking financial support for even bus fare, and some come with prescription for medication, and we try our best to help, right? But as I said, we can only do so much, because if we don't get help from the public, then of course we won't be able to help the public, right? But our aim and desire is to help as much as possible.
You made mention of before you ran your line, I threw that for you. You said initially a lot of people do not believe, they don't believe that you are a church. But what is a great, outside of that, what is one of the other misconceptions, misperceptions that persons have about the Salvation Army?
Well, as I said, I would believe that people think that the Salvation Army is not a church. Simple reason, because we do a lot of social work, right? So they see us more as a social organization than a spiritual organization. But we need to try and make it balance, right? We need to try and make it balance with the spiritual part and the physical part, and that's how our founder believe in.
I guess very often in reading the Bible, they forgot that Christ himself did feed the 5,000 with loaves and fish.
Yeah.
Continue to do what you do. All the best to yourself, your organization, your family. The best for the New Year's.
Thank you very much, and God bless you.
God bless you too.
Right.
A representative here from the Salvation Army, and yet again, as you said, sometimes we do not appreciate the virtue. We don't get the virtue, the range and the scope of these organizations, be it the Bel Air Home, be it the Salvation Army, or be the School for the Deaf. Very often, Mr. Archer, persons, we're busy going about our daily lives, and we continue to come back to the very point that we're making, that there's so many among us in our immediate environment that is so totally disenfranchised, and they're crying for help.
It's a loud cry, but unfortunately, a lot of times we don't recognize that cry, because sometimes the way we picture things is that the cry should only come in one way, although the cries come in different ways. And I think it's important that with the times that we are going through now, that the persons that are crying out for help, that we find ways to recognize it. Because unfortunately, we've heard about social mishaps, social things that have happened that unfortunately has cost people's lives. And after the fact, we hear that they've been crying out, but we weren't recognizing those cries, and whether or not there are changes in the way that we do our schooling, we do our social clubs, whatever may be necessary, as we listen to the psychologists and these people to help us to recognize the persons that are in need. But I think it's very important that we hear those cries.
Indeed, ever so often we just need to stop a bit from the hustle and the bustle of life. And there's some people that they've actually they buy into the notion that COVID-19, difficult as it is, it has happened. Maybe they say for divine purpose, so that as we ourselves, we can probably stop just to reflect and reconsider what's happening around us as we slow down from the hustle and the bustle of life. But we're coming to you live on Classic 105.5, 105.9, and the team, we've been here live since 3. The Rubis team is going to continue on until 5 o'clock. Let me put in perspective for you what's happening here. It is actually simple. For every $50 you spend, you get an opportunity to get yourself a gift. And it's plain and simple. You make a purchase, there's a gift. There's no dipping, no spinning, no quizzing. Nobody's going to ask you anything. Once you make a purchase of $50 and upwards, there is a gift for you. And when you think that Rubis they haven't quite figured it out altogether, because you would well appreciate, and of course purchase in terms of whether or not it is Ultratech fuel or total lubricant products, you would appreciate too that they do supply the Rubis 20-pound cylinders. You make a purchase of that, which is $40. There is also a gift for you. You don't have to ask, you don't have to query. There's nothing that you have to do really and truly. Once you make the purchase, they hand it to you. So we're here today at the Rubis CTEC Service Center that's on the Maurice Bishop International Highway. And certainly, while we end the live element of this broadcast within the next 5 minutes or so, the Rubis team, they will be remaining here up until 5 o'clock. Loads of opportunities for you, giveaway items. I mean, they have a lot of branded merchandise. Key rings, you have umbrellas, you have visors, bags. They also, in case you're wondering, they've catered for the minors, the children when they come. And of course, there's an opportunity for them to get pencils and erasers and those sort of things as we, of course, inch closer to the new year. Reminding you that as we get into the new year, while there are reports on the Ministry of Education that there will be a delay to the start, it doesn't mean the school's out at hip hip hooray. As certainly you have to, I'm encouraging you as parents to make all preparations as you can for the school year. If it's a case that your child or children, it's a case of school fees, you know that has to be done. You know, you probably are going to, you may query. We always hear that January is a difficult month. Keep in mind, folks, you have to eat, you have to send your children to school, so you have to be able to manage whatever the limited resources that you have. And certainly, I know that is one of the points that Mr. Archer and I, we have been laboring over the weeks. We've been pounding it today, re-emphasizing it today, Mr. Archer. And it's one of the points that you cannot overemphasize. Striking a balance between your needs and your wants. Striking the balance between that which you think or you assume there is an appeal for, and something that you know that if left without it, your family is going to suffer one way. At the end of the day, Mr. Archer, it doesn't matter whether it's in 2020, 2021, 10 years from now, the whole conversation about striking a balance, prioritizing, is one that would be foremost at the tips of our lips for years to come. You have to strike a balance.
Just trying to see if there's a different way that it can be put, but a balance is a balance. We may not be accountants to move the figures how we want to move them to balance, but at the end of the day, we have to move around our lives in such a way that we get the balance in our lives. And how do you prioritize in coming up with the balance is up to you. You may look at other people, but they may not get the math right, the balancing right. It is up to you to decide what is your balance and what you need to have done by you in your life, for you and your family, to ensure that as time moves on, because one thing that we are sure with in life is that time moves on. You know, it's not like basketball where you call timeout, or other sports where you can do that. It is a surety that we will always move on in life, and it's up to you to decide how you do that meaningfully for yourself and your family.
Indeed, the ball is in your court. Not sure it's in your court, your half of the field, whichever sport that you're in. Life, indeed, I mean, it is what it is. You know, the great Shakespeare said that life is, in fact, a stage. And we all, Mr. Archer, we all actors upon that stage. We have different roles, but at the end of the day, it comes down to the decisions that you make, not just as adults, but of course, we need to impart those values onto our children. There are implications for your action or your inaction. This is COVID, and as a family member, as an individual, there are implications for you if you choose not to wear your mask, if you choose not to recognize the social distancing, if you choose, of course, not to adhere to the social distancing protocol, and if for some reason you choose not to adhere to the imposed curfew that kicks in from 8 o'clock this evening. Mr. Archer, you always said, and we know that all too often, the time waits on no man, and especially when you outdoor, it runs like this. We almost out of time now, if not we haven't gone. But of course, I'm going to allow you just to take it in the next few minutes to, again, reach out to the market, your customers, your existing customers, and the potential customers as to why Rubis has been the choice in the past, is the choice now, and will continue to be the choice going into 2021.
In closing, what I would want first to say is that this season is generally recognized as the time for the children. But I think it's very important that we understand what lessons we teach the children around now. You know, that the children learn what the adults teach them. And we need to teach them good examples, especially in this COVID time. We need for them to understand why we're wearing the mask, why they need to not gather around, you know, why they need to keep the social distance. Because for however long this continues, it will be important for the children to understand and be a part of the process. We trust that they will grow up to be Rubis customers, as their parents are. But in the meantime, as we move into 2021, I want to thank each and every one for being a part of the Rubis family, for coming to our promotions at the stations, for participating in the grand prize events that we had, and to let you know that yes, there was a lockdown at one time, but COVID did not keep us down. And our actions are that COVID should not keep anybody down. And that you would see by what we did today, we made contributions to organizations, to homes, to charities, for them to be able to continue doing the work and to meet the needs of their organizations and their membership. So all I ask is that you have a safe holiday period. Do so safely with your family as well. If you have to think twice about doing something, I would suggest that you think 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, all coming to the conclusion that you shouldn't do it because you're thinking too much. If it was a natural, it probably would have been safe and you would normally just do it. So be safe. Into 2021, as I indicated before, I don't know if it'll be 2022 or when we will see the new norm. But however long it takes, we're not sure when we're going to be seeing the vaccine and how well it will work. 1 shot, 2 shots, 3 shots. All of this we will find out from the scientists as we move along. But ending 2020 into 2021, be safe. And I want to assure you that Rubis has plans for you in 2021.
Rubis, we have plans for you in 2021. That's the final words from the man, Mr. Archer. Maybe we always need something to position our minds towards. Normally at the end of the year, we start thinking about the new year. What are we going to do better? We start thinking about the resolution. In your resolutions, remember that Rubis, they have a plan for you. I guess we want to, as Mr. Archer said, we want to encourage you to stay safe. If you're on the road, due care and attention. Of course, reminding you that there's a number of Rubis stations across the island. But before we leave you this evening, right now, this afternoon, we had the CTEC Service Center on the Maurice Bishop Highway. We would come here. The live broadcast ends, but the team is going to be here until 5. For every $50 or more that you spend, you are in with an opportunity to earn a gift, because there is a gift with your name your name on it. Peace and love. JC loves you. On behalf of the entire team, of course, Team Rubis, Team GBN, we now send you back to Studio Control.
Have a happy and safe Christmas from Rubis.
No, it's holiday time. See the green, the red, and the white. Gonna keep you moving on, all the way back home. All the pretty lights everywhere. It's that time of year. Get Rubis, get going. It's Christmas. Get going. Get Rubis, get going. It's Christmas. Get going.
Have a happy and safe Christmas.